Hey everyone, Morgan here. We're going to be talking about the Calorimetry Lab for AP Chem this weekend. So this is going to be a formal lab report, which you will type up, and it's going to go into your laboratory notebook. So you'll start off by logging into your Schoology account here, and go up to Groups, and under Groups, choose the AP Chem group. And I've got an announcement here about the lab. Click on Lab Procedure. It's going to take you over to my webpage. Here are the pre-lab questions. The procedure is pretty easy to write up. Now, this procedure is going to involve 4 different chemical reactions, and you're going to do each reaction 3 times. So our first reaction is going to be 100 milliliters of 1 molar HCl with 100 milliliters of 1 molar NaOH. And what we're going to do here in this data table, you'll have 4 of these data tables total. 1 for each of the reactions. You'll put the volume of the base, the initial temperature of the base, the volume of the acid, the initial temperature of the acid, and the final temperature reached. Then you'll do these different combinations, HCl, KOH, etc., etc. Now, after you've run the experiment and it comes to post-lab calculations, you're going to need to do this post-lab table 4 times. Now, because these are very repetitive calculations, I'm going to be fine if you want to try to set up a spreadsheet in a program like Excel or Numbers, okay, to do the calculations for you, so that the only thing you're going to have to be filling in is temperature changes, stuff like that, okay? And in fact, if you made these first tables in Excel also, you could get them to talk to this, and the whole thing would be pretty easy just to import over into your lab report. Okay, so back over here, we'll click on the Calorimeter Lab simulator. This page will come up and then disappear on its own. I didn't click anything. Here's an overview. You should read the overview. You should read through the learning outcomes. Click on Experiment, and you should run the demonstration, okay? However, at this point, you'll be ready to do the experiment itself. Click on it, you'll get this. That's a fancy calorimeter, not some cheap styrofoam cup like in the classroom, okay? These even have built-in thermometers. They're spiffy. So I'm going to click on Solutions, and I'm going to choose HCl, and I'm going to set the volume to 100 milliliters and the molarity to 1 molar. When I've done that, I have a thermometer here that is telling me the initial temperature. So I could actually fill out volume and initial temperature right now into my data table. I click on Next. The next solution will be sodium hydroxide. Same volume and same molarity. There we go. And suddenly, boom, I have the initial temperature there, which I can record into my data table in my laboratory notebook by hand. That's how we do this. So now, next. Click on Next, and it's ready to run. Information over here for you to read through, okay? Now, I'm going to click on both of these just so you can see what's going on. The graph view is going to help every time. The microscopic view, that's basically a particulate diagram of what's going on, so that's worth watching. I click Start. Now, the initial temperatures are gone, and I've got a nice thermometer up there up top giving me a readout. I kind of see what's happening on the graph, okay? And it runs. It doesn't take too long. It just gets through in, 30 seconds or so. Not a big deal, okay? And it'll tell me when it's done, okay? That will give me the, boom, there, we're done. That will give me the highest temperature achieved, which is 26.81 degrees Celsius. Now, normally, what would happen at this point is we'd still be monitoring the temperature and watching it come down, okay? And that tells you you're done monitoring it. But in this simulation, they just stop when it gets steady. Okay, so what you would do is you'd record that in your laboratory notebook. That's your T final. You hit reset, and you do the exact same thing again 2 more times. That's the first reaction. Then for the second reaction, click on Solutions, and then you go up here, choose hydrochloric acid again, and you do the same settings. And then for the second one, this time you would choose potassium hydroxide, 100 milliliters, and do these same settings. Okay? All right, so there you go. You get the idea of what's going on with this. Okay? So this shouldn't take too long, and there'll be no dishes to wash afterwards, so that's kind of good. I do want to warn you, of course, to wear your goggles and gloves while you're doing this. You also probably want your face mask. We must practice safe science. Okay, you do this one with your partner, so you can all get together in a Zoom room and watch the whole thing happen. Okay, thanks for tuning in. This is Morgan signing off.